Welcome back to the channel Coin Master, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable values that could be sitting right in your pocket change right now. Today we are going to talk about a coin that looks so ordinary yet holds a story so extraordinary, the 1980 Roosevelt dime. This little 10-cent coin, with the words Liberty and In God We Trust proudly inscribed on it, is one of those coins that makes you wonder just how much hidden value could be waiting in your old coin jars or maybe even in your wallet today. Believe it or not, this specific dime can reach a mind-blowing value of up to $58,000 in the current market if you happen to find the right one in the right condition. Let's start with the history of this coin, because the Roosevelt dime has a legacy that goes beyond just being a piece of change. The dime series was introduced in 1946, just after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, to honor his remarkable legacy and leadership, especially his role in creating programs like the March of Dimes, which helped fight polio. The dime became a living tribute, and to this day his face continues to be a symbol of determination and leadership on one of the smallest but most collected coins in the United States. By 1980, the United States Mint had already struck hundreds of millions of these dimes, and the Denver Mint, identified by the little D mint mark right on the coin, produced a massive quantity that year. But here's where things get interesting, because even in a year when billions of coins were circulating, special variations, errors, and mint state conditions can take an ordinary-looking coin and turn it into a jackpot for collectors. Now, when we look at the 1980 dime itself, you might think it is just pocket change, but under the eyes of coin collectors and grading experts, every tiny detail matters. The shine, the strike, the clarity of the design, and the absence of scratches or wear can skyrocket its value. A dime straight from circulation with heavy wear might only be worth 10 cents, maybe a little more to a collector building a circulated set. But when you find one that has survived decades in pristine condition, possibly graded MS-67 or higher, you step into the realm of thousands of dollars. And then when you add in the possibility of errors like off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse, or planchet mistakes, the value can shoot way past anything you would ever imagine for such a small coin. This is how some 1980 Roosevelt dimes have reached astonishing auction values, with the highest market estimate sitting at $58,000, making this coin one of the most surprising treasures of modern U.S. coinage. Imagine holding a simple dime in your hand that could pay off a car, cover a year of college tuition, or even contribute to buying a house. That is the excitement collectors feel when they search for coins like the 1980 dime. You never know when a regular-looking piece of change could turn into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. People have found them in old jars, in rolls of coins from banks, or even in pocket change they almost spent without realizing its worth. The thought that such a valuable coin could be hiding in plain sight keeps the hunt alive and thrilling for both beginner collectors and seasoned experts. When you look closer at the design of this coin, you notice the details that make it iconic. On the obverse, you have the bold profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the word Liberty right by his face, and the powerful national motto In God We Trust. The date 1980 sits right there, and next to it is the small D mint mark indicating Denver. Flip it over and you see the torch, the olive branch, and the oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, with the inscription United States of America, E pluribus unum, and of course one dime. This combination of symbols and words has made the Roosevelt dime more than just money. It is a piece of history reflecting America's values and its struggles. In terms of rarity, most 1980 dimes are still very common, and you can find them in circulation today. But the real challenge is finding one in mint state condition or one with a rare error. Collectors send these coins to professional grading services, and the difference between a grade of MS-65 and MS-67 can mean thousands of dollars in market value. Some rare error coins from this year have shown incredible returns at auction houses, and every time a record-breaking sale happens, it adds fuel to the growing excitement around the 1980 dime. That is exactly why collectors are keeping an eye out, and why you should too. The market value for this coin is what really captures everyone's attention. A normal circulated one might bring only a little over face value, but at the high end, collectors have paid as much as $58,000 for top-graded or unique specimens. That is the kind of story that makes people dig through their change jars with fresh excitement. Prices like that are not just about rarity, but also about demand, passion, and the thrill of owning something that most people overlook. Every coin tells a story, and this dime tells a story of history, honor, and the potential for a life-changing discovery. So the next time you get change from a store, pay extra attention if you spot a 1980 dime with that tiny D mint mark. Look for the condition, check for errors, and imagine the possibility that you could be holding something worth tens of thousands of dollars. These coins are still out there, and one lucky find could turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary one. Coin collecting is not just about money, it is about history, it is about preserving memories, and it is about the thrill of finding hidden treasures that connect us to the past. The 1980 D. Roosevelt dime stands as a perfect example of why collectors are so passionate about this hobby. A coin so small in size can carry a value so large that it makes people dream bigger. From its origin honoring a great president, to its journey through circulation, to its potential to be worth $58,000, this dime is living proof that history, rarity, and condition can create magic in the world of coin collecting. If you are watching this right now, maybe it is time to check your old coin rolls, your jars of change, or that forgotten piggy bank in the corner. Because somewhere out there, another 1980 D. Roosevelt dime is waiting to be discovered, and it could be worth a fortune. Would you like me to also make this script optimized for YouTube's storytelling style with pauses, emphasis words like, "Wait until you hear this," or, "You won't believe how much," so that it keeps viewers hooked longer? Today we are going to talk about why this small piece of American history has become such a big deal in the coin collecting market. People often think of the dime as just spare change in their pocket, but when we look closer at the story behind this coin, we begin to understand why it can be worth not just 10 cents but tens of thousands of dollars in the right condition. The 1980 dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it bears no mint mark because at that time Philadelphia did not use a mint mark on most of its circulation coins. This coin features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was the 32nd President of the United States, and one of the most admired leaders in American history. He is honored on the dime because of his leadership during World War II and his creation of the March of Dimes, which helped fight the terrible disease of polio. Roosevelt's portrait on the dime represents both strength and compassion, and since 1946 every dime produced in the United States has carried his image. Now, when we look at the 1980 dime itself, it was struck in large numbers. More than 735 million dimes were made that year, so you may wonder, how could something produced in such large amounts be worth a fortune? The answer lies in rarity, condition, errors, and demand. While hundreds of millions were made, only a tiny fraction survive today in perfect mint state condition, untouched by circulation and without scratches, or where coin collectors and grading companies like PCGS and NGC place a huge premium on high-grade examples. For most circulated 1980 dimes, the value is usually just 10 cents, but for coins that remain in pristine gem condition with sharp details and brilliant luster, the prices skyrocket, and that is where the huge money comes in. Another fascinating part of this coin's story is the hunt for errors and varieties. Some 1980 dimes were struck with off-center errors, doubled dies, or weak strikes, and collectors love these mistakes because they make the coin unique. For example, a dime struck off-center or with doubled lettering can sell for hundreds, or even thousands of dollars at auction, and when you combine rarity with perfect condition, you are looking at coins that can break records in the coin collecting market. Some reports and collectors even talk about the 1980 dime being valued as high as $58,000 when sold in gem mint state with an incredible grade. This makes it one of the most sought-after modern Roosevelt dimes in the hobby. The design details are worth looking at as well. On the front we see Roosevelt's face with the word liberty to the left, and the motto "In God We Trust" beneath his chin. The date 1980 is placed to the right, and just below the neck truncation, while the reverse of the coin shows a torch in the center representing liberty, with an olive branch to the left symbolizing peace and an oak branch to the right symbolizing strength and independence. This design has been unchanged for decades, making the dime instantly recognizable and deeply symbolic for Americans every time they hold it in their hand. When we talk about history, it is important to remember that 1980 was a time of change in the United States. It was the start of a new decade. Inflation was high, and people were paying close attention to money and coins. Even then, the dime remained one of the most used coins in circulation, and millions passed through the hands of everyday Americans, but only collectors who saved them in uncirculated condition ended up preserving the real treasures. Those who placed rolls away in banks or kept mint sets safe from scratches unknowingly held on to coins that today are worth thousands. Collectors today often search through old coin jars, rolls of dimes from banks and family collections, looking for that one rare 1980 Roosevelt dime in superb condition. Auctions have proven that when such a coin is discovered, the value can climb into the tens of thousands of dollars, and serious buyers are willing to pay a fortune for it. Coin grading plays a huge role here, because a coin graded MS67 or MS68 by PCGS or NGC can command staggering prices, while one in MS60 or lower is far less valuable. Condition is everything in the coin market, and this dime is a perfect example of how quality determines value. The 1980 dime stands as a reminder that sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest surprises. Many collectors overlook it because they assume newer coins cannot be rare, but the truth is that pristine examples of modern dimes are just as desirable as some older pieces. In fact, some experts argue that modern rarities like the 1980 dime will only grow in value as more people realize how few high-grade examples remain available. The demand for quality coins keeps rising, and as long as collectors compete for the best, the price for this dime will continue to climb. So when you look at your pocket change or go through an old coin jar, make sure you check carefully, because the dime you hold could be more than just 10 cents. It could be part of history and potentially worth $58,000. The 1980 Roosevelt dime proves that the world of coins is full of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, and every coin has a story that connects the past to the present. This coin, with its rich history, symbolism, and potential for enormous value, is a shining example of why people around the world fall in love with coin collecting. What seems like an ordinary piece of change can in fact be a masterpiece of history, art, and value, making the 1980 Roosevelt dime one of the most fascinating coins ever to enter circulation, and one that collectors will chase for generations to come.